to another episode of Unscripted with JJ and Jamie. Today we have a special guest. We have Doug Stroud with us today. We're so excited to have him on. And Doug, we call you Doug, Dougie Fresh, Douglas. Like, you got a lot of names.
I have a lot of names. It's usually, hey, where are you at? I need something done.
Yeah, like, hey, you got a minute?
Hey, that's your name.
Or, hey, you got a minute?
That's it.
That's a trick. That one, hey, you got a minute. But no, Doug, like, we're super glad to have you on here, and JJ and I will take it easy on you. I mean,
no, we will not take it easy.
I was gonna say,
that's what's going to make this fun.
Okay.
That never happens.
Okay, so, like, if we just dive right in and say, how did Doug Stroud end up at Magical Vacation Planner?
Well, it was me.
It was JJ.
It was JJ.
It was ultimately JJ.
It was.
But a lot of people, because Michelle and I went to high school together, a lot of people assumed that I knew Michelle before I knew you.
Yes,
when in fact, I knew you before I knew Michelle. And
Absolutely.
we joke about it and we say, Michelle was always studying and we were not.
We were not.
No.
We were jumping railroad tracks.
We really were. Your cousin dated one of my friends,
Yes.
and we always went out, and we were never studying, I don't think. But
no, studying how to get into trouble, maybe.
I think so. But like, one of the things, another interesting fact is you played baseball. And I did stats for the baseball team.
Probably how I know you the most.
Yeah, I would say it was through baseball.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because when I started MVP and I told JJ, I was like, I need help. And I'd ask somebody back home, I believe it was Terry Sloan, if he knew anybody, and I gave kind of what I was looking for. And he said, you need to talk to Michelle Stroud.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Taylor, your daughter, and our daughter Jada were in the same class. And you and JJ and Terry coached their basketball team. What grade was that in?
I'm thinking that was probably 3rd or 4th grade.
Yes.
And that's probably really when I first met JJ. I mean, I'd always heard about JJ through you and different people in the community because we lived in a small town. But then finally to meet JJ in person, I was like, oh, okay. Because, you know, I will say this about you, and it's going to be it's unscripted. It's like, oh, Jamie's, married to a professional basketball player. Like, yeah, who? From Mitchell? How does that happen? And then here he is, right?
Yeah.
So that's really where I first met JJ, was through the basketball, and Taylor and Terry and Jada and the girls, and
Taylor actually went to his basketball camp, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
I think so, yeah.
Every
all 6
year.
years.
Yeah,
all 6 years.
All 6 years.
Yeah, we've got a picture of little Taylor, big
I know.
Jay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I loved it because she was a special player, pretty aggressive as well.
Yeah.
She was. She left it all on the court. But I think that one thing that I remember about you when the kids were in 3rd, and I think it was when they were in 4th, was when we started MVP, was when the girls were in the 4th grade. But I think one of the things that I can say about you is you were so passionate, and you still are. Whatever it is you do, you are 100% passionate about
Jump in with both feet.
And you loved basketball.
I did.
You still love basketball.
I do, yep.
But, like, you loved basketball. So I remember that about you, and I remember, like, we talked about, like, jumping. You had a green Comet.
Yeah, the green
That was your
Comet,
car?
Mercury Comet, yeah.
And it only did donuts in reverse.
It only did burnouts in reverse.
Okay.
Like, usually tear the transmission up. The turn signal didn't work about half the time till you jump the railroad track.
Right.
So that's how we
So
get
we
our turn
weren't
signals
like
back on.
we weren't like fancy rich kids.
Not at all.
Yeah, we were just like middle
Just normal,
class kids
Having a good
doing
time.
dumb stuff.
That's it.
And so, when we fast forward and the girls are playing,
Yeah.
JJ and you and Terry are coaching the basketball team, and I'm probably over in my fantasy land of Disney and talking about Disney
World,
and starting MVP
Yeah.
and, not even having a clue at the time. But anyway, so Michelle came and worked for us, but we still all stayed in touch. And you always said, like, probably after she'd been with us 3 or 4 years, like, you did our first website.
I did do the first website.
You remember that? And you said, this guy's talented. And I was like, but like my focus was Michelle, because Michelle helped me with so many things. So then you also, at our first conference, you did videos for us.
Yeah.
And I remember you came over to show the video. Do you remember that?
I
He
did.
showed us the videos, and you kind of gave us your
He
pitch.
wanted in.
You
He
gave us
wanted
your
in.
pitch.
I did.
And you said, you don't even have to pay me. I just want in. I said, well, I'm not going to have you here and us not pay you.
Right.
And you said, there's just something special about what you're doing. and I want in. I want to be a part of it. I want to hang out. I want to.
It was truly that.
Yeah, and I remember JJ saying, like, he has a lot of talent, and I said, do you remember what I said? I was like, I don't want any.
You don't want any couples.
I didn't want any couples.
But what I saw, if you go back, and anybody that knows you, Doug, knows that your shoe game is always on point. Okay, they know that when you jump in, just like basketball, you're all in.
I am.
Okay, in whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I said, here's a guy that is passionate about these smaller teams. So how many years did you coach the biddy ball or the traveling teams and things like that? Which you had the contracts, you know, with like Under Armour. Yeah, you had the contracts. So there's a lot that takes place and has to go into organizing, having a traveling team, having a Under Armour contract, and the commitment alone, just to be committed. I'm going to do these things. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, that's a good segue into this, JJ, because of the passion. And if I feel it, I want to do it, and I want to be the very best. And I'll never forget, my dad always said, just don't go in and do something, be the best at it, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to basketball with Taylor, for sure she's my daughter, so I want to make sure that she succeeds. And if she was in cheer, I would have been a cheer dad, right? It wouldn't have made any difference. I would have had a cheer league and did all of that, but it turned out it was basketball. And making those relationships. Well, the thing about our club, our basketball clubs, we wound up towards the end of the years there before we moved and I got on with Magical Vacation Planner. I think I had 3 boys teams, 3 girls teams. We were running what was called the Indiana Blue Chips. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, and this may sound bad, but it's unscripted, so we're going to say it. I would get the kids that nobody else wanted. Mm-hmm. Okay, because why? They wanted to play harder. They wanted to prove themselves. And that last year, so 2016, when Taylor graduated with school, we had 11 girls on our team, and 6 of them went to play college basketball. Yeah. And, did we win a lot of games? We didn't. There was a lot of games that we lost by 30, 40 points, but our girls played to the very end. And we did a tournament in Louisville one time. It was an exposure tournament. And we had all the D1 coaches watching a team that was playing us.
Oh, perfect time to steal a scholarship right there.
That's exactly what it was. So we stayed with them through halftime. They made their adjustments. They wound up beating us by 40, but the coaches that came up and talked to us commented 2 things. We wanted to see how your team responded in a 40-point loss and how they responded with a 40-point win. Yeah. And guess what? Some of their girls did not respond well on a 40-point win. Mm-hmm. They would make fun. They would do this. Our girls played hard to the end. So to wrap all that up into your question, we did that since, Taylor started with the Blue Chips in 6th grade, and then we kind of just carried it till she graduated. So it was a long time that we did that, but it was really good. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. I don't want to do that because I know we got other things to talk about. But basketball and having passion and believing in what you're doing and helping people that need help and want to prove themselves, that's what Magical Vacation Planner is about. And, so many times, because I'm in a position, I just got promoted, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, but I'm in that position where I was the only guy really talking to all of 99% women in the travel industry. And they think so highly and trust me so much of what they're doing that I hear the things they're going through, and they just want to prove themselves. Yeah. They want to be a part of something. They want to be something magical. And that's what I wanted to be.
Yeah, and the one thing that I remember about that time is you called me, so you knew that you were dealing with players that wasn't the selected players.
For sure, 100%.
But that never stopped you from calling somebody to come and talk to your team that could show your team,
for sure,
some drills or some skills, things that they had no clue of, nothing they had. And you called me how many years in a row with how many teams just to come and show them the proper shooting drills and how to develop, and to have conversations with your team.
For sure.
So it kind of ties into what happens here at Magical Vacation Planner is where you're looking for the right people with the right skill set to educate and lead and teach your team something that they may or may not know. So you called me how many years to come and talk and to do shooting drills?
8 or 10 years. I mean, every year you would come to our basketball. We always had so like we do here, we do things special. And this is kind of, it just works. Our group here works because of those things. So I would have a kickoff event. The parents would come in. We'd make it a big special deal. And I would have your JJ would come in and he would talk about his form and everything. And the biggest thing that I got, because it does carry into sales and what we do here, is how easy it is. Now I say that, how easy it is to score 20 points a game. It's not as hard as you think it is.
Right.
It's hard to sell vacations. I get that, but it's not hard to move somebody from a tropical room to a oceanfront room or something like that. So it's the same thing as saying, how do you get 20 points a game where you're going to run the floor a couple times a game?
Yeah.
You're going to get an easy couple layups. There's 6, 8 points.
Right.
You're going to get fouled 2 or 3 times. You're going to hit your free throws. There's another 6 points. And before you know it, it quickly adds up. Knock down a 3-pointer,
And we discussed this.
We
breaking the game down. If
Yep.
you know you have 4 quarters and it's 6-minute quarters, just score 4 points, 5 points per quarter. Per quarter. Don't attract the defense. Just be steady and do what you do. Next thing you know, you have 20 points a game.
And you're going to have those games or months, if you will, where you're going to score 40 points. You're going to get a lot of bookings in that month,
Yes.
And you might go into a little bit of a slump.
Correct.
But we don't stop shooting.
Right.
We don't stop selling. We keep booking. You keep doing it.
Keep
And you
on
set
your
the
drills.
foundation, just like we do here. That we come in, we do educational opportunities, and we do the right things to build that foundation is no different than starting 3 feet from the rim, making sure you swish 3 in a row. And then you back up 6 feet, you do another 3. And you used to show that, and Taylor still, if she's out there shooting, she'll still go out and warm up, and she'll do that,
Yeah, and waiting for that opportunity where you're playing that team.
Yep.
And that team is better, and they're attracting the coach.
Absolutely.
That's your opportunity to steal a scholarship.
That's right.
Being prepared in Magical Vacation Planner, doing all the right things, educating yourself, training yourself, being ready for when the industry opens up or when someone's looking for a trip,
100%.
you're ready.
Yep. And you do all the things that you both preach, so to speak. Jamie does a lot, and go get a loose ball off the floor. So treat people kindly, smile, be nice. The refs are there doing their job. We may not like every call. We may not like everything in life that's going on, but you're still going to be positive. You're still going to be nice, and you carry that kindness, and you be nice to people, and you just do the right thing. Things will come back to you.
100%. So as you can see, Doug wound up at MVP.
Yay!
JJ won, and Doug ended up at MVP.
Well, I kind of tricked you a little bit, though.
Well, and you tricked me too.
Well, I was talking to Doug. I knew we were about to have a fam trip. And, I convinced you to let Doug do a presentation.
Yes.
Because Doug was in automotive, and he was a great person. He positioned himself very well. And I was like, hey, Doug, put together a sales presentation. And I'm going to see if we can get you to present. Because I wanted, Jamie to see the other side of you, something that I kind of saw because we talked about it all the time. We talked about things a lot, I think a little bit more than what you and Jamie had talked about at that time. So you got your opportunity.
So, yes. So I was not overly excited for you to do that presentation. But I think it was more nerves for me. Because I do like you. I really like you as a person. But I also know that our little group can sometimes be funny.
Sure.
We're all funny. We want to protect what we've invested our time in, and it's not that you were going to wreck it or you were going to do anything, but it's, I know how people's perception is a lot of times, and mine's the same way. But once again, it's like when you have something and it's really working.
Right.
Back then I didn't have the motto that with success, you better get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
I didn't know that back then.
Right.
And even still to this day, I still have to remind myself, if I'm feeling really comfortable, like I need to push myself.
It's your business, it's your baby. You want to make sure
push a little harder.
I need to push just a little bit harder to where I feel uncomfortable.
For sure.
And, but also keeping those core values of what is very important to me. And I've said it time and time again, like sales are great, but if we are not kind, if we are not who we say we are, like I would rather do half the sales but be impacting lives. And so I think that I think that comes across in the majority of our agents that we have, and the majority of the staff that we have. Like you guys understand it, but so you presented on that. It was Royal Caribbean. I don't remember which ship. You probably do. I don't.
Trying to think. I think it was Oasis, maybe.
It may have been, yeah. And I remember I sat in the back because what a lot of people don't know about me, I like to sit in the back for multiple reasons. One, if I have to take a call, if I have to text, if I need to go to the bathroom, like I don't want to. I'm disruptive. Like that's
What?
not.
Is that
I,
you?
that wasn't what was a surprise.
Was
to
that
people.
recorded?
Yeah, was that recorded?
That's not what's a surprise. But what a lot of people don't know is I like to do that because I like to watch, like almost like if you're a scout.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like if you're up higher, you can see it like a bird's eye view a little bit. So I was sitting in the back because I was listening to you, but I was watching the agents.
For sure.
Because I'm like, if they were texting, they were bored, they were doodling, they were in their computers booking vacations. I knew that, like, one, I didn't want your feelings to be hurt.
Yeah.
But because like I know that sometimes it's like you mentioned earlier, like it is a predominantly, back then it was very predominantly women. Were a little bit more diverse now. Yeah. But I didn't want your feelings to be hurt. And so it was like, so I was just watching, the advisors and, you know, and when they do this and they're like,
they lean in.
I knew, I was like, dang, like JJ knew, JJ saw something in you. Yeah. But like, to me, you were Doug. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're Doug from the baseball team. Right. Doug, like
jumping railroad tracks.
Right. So it's like, and I know to you, I'm still that goofy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's hard to move the needle. But the second I watch the agents, and then, you know, unbeknownst to you, then I'm pulling them aside, like, hey, what'd you think? And they're like, that was really great. Like, actually, and I think most of them said the same thing I did. Like, we really thought, like, what's Doug got in common with us? Right. But listening to them and saying, hey, like, actually I got something out, which JJ 100%, he doubled down on you when I was like, I mean, and it's not that I didn't like I always have fun with you. Like,
actually, your comment was, Doug focuses on basketball.
Yeah, what does,
and Under Armour. And that's all he talks about it. That's all he talks about.
And I will admit when I'm wrong, but I think that whenever I said to you, because you had asked for a couple of years, you're like, I just went in.
It took me 4 years, by the way.
Okay,
I'll just keep saying that. 4 long years.
Yeah, and you said there's just something. I said it's magic.
It is.
You know, and I would always like come back with some silly like nah, you know, some silly comment, but I'm like, it is magic, and it is. There is something special about what we've done, where we've come from, what we do, and where we're going. Yeah. But I remember I said to you, and it probably wasn't very fair. Like it wasn't very fair, but I'm like, I just wanted to set the bar with you and let you know if you did, because he's coming at me, you know, like Michelle never really chimed in. She never.
I was gonna say, I don't remember her, because she
Michelle
knew
didn't
how you
advocate
felt.
for you. She didn't advocate against you. Like Michelle's just always like, Michelle is Michelle is Michelle, and that's why I'm like, hey, if we move to Florida, Michelle has to move. Like, I don't like Doug. I don't ready. Like if Doug's not moving, like that's fine. Like Michelle is going.
I do remember that. Like,
and you were the one that's like, I'm going.
I'm ready.
But no, I said to you, if you do come on board, I was kind of hard on you a little bit.
A little bit.
I said, if you do come on board, I need you to love MVP like you love basketball. Yep. And to ask somebody to shift that love, like that was maybe not real fair of me, but I know what we have over here, and I'm like, I needed full focus. I needed full vision. You know, and it's like, and I'm going to, now there's a double couple, you know, it's us, but then it's you guys too, and that complicates things because I know we work all the time. I know then Michelle and now you work all the time, and it's like work-life balance, there's really not, in entrepreneurship, there's not a work-life balance so much. It really, it blends. Yeah. And so we've had a lot of good times, but we've had some pretty tough times too. You know, it's like, you know, we stay up late and you know, it's like what everybody sees on social media is like, oh, you go on these fabulous vacations. You know, what they don't see is it's like 110 degrees and we're in buses that don't have air condition.
And I think one of the challenges is we are pretty close. Yeah. We are. And because we're pretty close, you know, we can have difficult conversations. We can. That, you know, a lot of people might think or might take the wrong way, you know, or their feelings might get hurt. But because we can have these conversations, and we have had some heated conversations at times.
For sure.
But it's not heated because we felt bad about our
Right.
we were
Passionate.
passionate
Yeah.
about something or about a big decision that's going to affect everybody in the company. So one of the things I can say is since the time that you came on and after those first couple of years, you know, you proved yourself. You know, the company started moving into a really good, you know, area position. One of the things I'm really happy about is how you came aboard and you helped us get into spaces and places that, you know, we hadn't yet done.
Yeah.
You know, with the getaways, with the cruising, and you know, to develop relationships, to help the advisors, and that's what it was all about: is positioning the company and bringing new things into the company to help the advisors grow a business. So, you know, I really appreciate, you know, the things that you've done when it comes to that.
Well, and thank you for that. And when Jamie was talking, it did bring back a lot of memories. You know, you have to give up what you love. And yeah, I love basketball. I would have loved anything that Taylor was involved in. But to her point, when she says that, you know, it's okay, you got to give up basketball, you know, and I'm thinking, well, do I really want to be a part of this company? They're making me give up everything that I love to do. But if you stop and you think and you rationalize and you understand, you know, you're going someplace that's pretty special, and you've got to trust the process. You know, if I'm going somewhere, I want to trust the person I'm going with, you know. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it up and I'll see. But here we are, and it's all turned around, and I can still love basketball. I still love golf. You know, I play golf now. I'm in with both feet, and
Mr. Hole in One.
Mr. Hole in One. Finally, that was a luck shot. But you know, the long hours and the work that we do, and we make it look super easy. We really do. And it's not hard. And when you say, you know, we have those hard conversations, there are times where we've had hard conversations. And it's only for the betterment of the companies, for the betterment of the advisors, which is why we're here. You know, I love all of them just as much as I love Michelle, you, Taylor, because they're my family. All of them are my family. And I tell them that all the time, how I really do feel for them. And when I bought my kind of dream car, I tell them it's their car. So when every time they're in the office and they want to drive, it's like, it's your car, go drive it. It's just a car, right? Because it's their car.
Yeah.
They're the ones that helped get it, you know, so.
But I think even like we talk about your car, like this is a car that you've wanted for years. And I remember, you know, like you saving for it. I mean, I remember like you put a goal, because we're really big on goals.
Goal oriented, yeah.
We are very goal oriented. And
how do you going to know where you're going if you don't know where you're going?
And so I think that when you got the car, we were all just like super happy, because, you know, it wasn't an impulse buy by no means.
No,
I mean, it was something that you'd kind of put your vision on, and you kind of said, this is how I'm going to get there.
Kind of put my eggs in the basket, right? Because it's,
And, you know, and I think that like so many times, you know, people see let's just say the social media. Yeah. People see the social media, and you're always on vacation, which is not vacation. You know, you'll share with your golf and the things that's maybe what you're getting into now, because like we do work all the time. So if you get an hour or two, you know, you and Michelle hop on that golf cart and you
well, we have to, right? Because
you need some sort of separation, and I think for 15 years there really wasn't. It was just grind.
And that was
we didn't have hobbies.
Yes, and that was going to be one of my questions to you. What are some of the challenges, you know, with working with MVP and the demand of the job? You know, what is some of the challenges? What do you not get to do that you love to do, or what are some changes that you had to make in order to do the job?
It is tough, because when we have family come in, they immediately know that no matter what time of day it is, weekends, not weekends, if you're coming in, our work comes first, so to speak, and it does. Family should always, you know, I get that, but we have to work. Because of what we do, we have to be there for the advisors, right? So they understand. So the challenge is when they come in and they want to go do something, we'll have our phones with us. I don't carry a work phone. It's my personal phone, but everybody has my personal number. That's fine, because that's part of my job. We usually will have an iPad or a laptop with us in case there's an emergency that we need to handle. So we'll go out to eat, phone will ring, something happens. So those are challenges. You know, we're trying to spend time with our family. On these trips that we go on, you know, you asked me one time, Doug, are you okay with traveling? Well, I never got to travel during work, and now I get to. So I definitely do not have a problem with traveling. But there are times where we'll do back to back to back to back. And I remember just not very long ago that we had to go to Miami. We had to get on a ship. We had to do a counsel for a cruise line. We got off at Nassau, flew from Nassau to someplace else, met you guys, and then we all had to come back to Miami and do something else. And there for a while it was like 14, 15 days straight. Then we were off for 3 days. We had to turn around and go to Mexico or Punta Cana.
And then have a training here.
Yeah. And
you mean you don't love that?
Well, that's what everybody says. Everybody says, you don't love that? Well, if you remember right, the one time I was doing the 360 videos, and we seen 14 resorts in 2 days.
That was...
Yeah, and that was when I decided that I'm not. Yeah. That's not what I'm doing. It's not like we're just sitting on the beach and at the pool having cocktails. Do we have?
Let me throw this in. 14 resorts, 2 days in 100-degree weather.
100-degree weather on a bus with little air conditioning.
Yes. But what makes the reels? What makes the clips? Is the pool time.
For sure.
So you may hop in a pool for 10 minutes to, but it's
jump in, jump out.
Yeah,
that's it.
But it's literally for.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not that it's fake. I mean, it's we're there, but we also our job is to capture
the good moment. It's a highlight reel.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah.
And you think
maybe
of that.
We should show some behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Well, I've been sharing bloopers because Francesca sure loves to make me the blooper reels because she thinks that's funny.
Well, it's tough. I mean, as we've done this more and more often, so a couple of things. I'm getting really good at packing 10 and 12 pairs of shoes in my carry-on luggage because we don't check a lot of things unless I'm playing golf. But I'll have 4 or 5 good-looking dress shirts that I can go to dinner with. We'll have our, multiple shoes all in one little carry-on, literally a 20-inch carry-on, and I've gotten really good at that. I've also gotten really good at filming all of this stuff and knocking out our social media and being able to do it in between resorts because where are we? Maybe 45 minutes at each of these resorts.
Yeah.
So we've gotten better at doing that, and we lost track. You had asked me about relationships, which is what I think I do really well. Our relationships are really good with all of our vendors now that we can say, look, 14 resorts in 2 days is a bit much. Nobody's going to remember that, and we need to maximize our time when we're here. So we're getting better about slowing that down, doing 4 or 5 resorts in a day. It's not super hot. We're getting that, and that comes from the relationship building, and that's. I didn't sell cars. I sold cars for 8 months, so I was in the service department. That's where my sales came from. So I get 10 minutes to build a relationship with somebody right on the service drive to sell some maintenance work.
Yeah. I just want to know how you get 4 or 5, 6 pair of shoes in a carry-on. I'm not getting these boats. Only 2 or 3 pair of these boats. When you wear a size 9, it's a little easier than a 15.
So let's fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, because I kind of bounced back on you.
No, and I'm glad you did because these are things that's all important. I mean, we could probably do a 10-hour segment on
easily could
on Dougie Fresh. We just named you the VP of Strategic Alliances.
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Super excited about that.
And really what we're trying to do is get back to the basics.
Yeah.
We're trying to get back to what makes MVP.
Yeah.
And JJ said, you know what, Doug, the two of you, because it's no secret to anybody, and if somebody's watching this episode, it should not be a secret to anybody. I love Disney, and this company was started with Disney.
And still is
and still is Disney. But, as business people, we'd be silly not to have to evolve and also venture out. And so a lot of the relationships in the beginning with the other vendors, yes, we had Chris Donatello from Royal Caribbean, Scott Vacrumba from Carnival. Mm-hmm. We had Trish from Sandals, and then we had Disney. So really in the beginning, I knew that we had to offer other products just in case somebody didn't love Disney. But so we had those. And Chris did such an amazing job introducing us to the right people at Royal. Scott did a great job. Trish did a great job. And but you two took it further, and you two built those relationships like what I had at Disney, and I'm like, and then you made the relationships, then you brought me in, you're like, oh, you'll really like, but you went in and tested the waters, and you was like, do we think this will be do you think that that Jamie's going to buy in? And so you and JJ, you two work as a really good team.
We really do.
And you guys understand things much differently than I do. I'm more of a feelings, I have to feel it. You're a visionary with the numbers and the strategy and the stuff like that. And I'm like, if something, I don't care how good the numbers are. I don't care if it's all the sales in the world. Right. If it doesn't feel good to me, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, let me add 2 things. There's 2 things that has to take place. And that is trust and respect. And I think when Doug came on board, we saw how well he did in the job that he was doing.
Right.
Because I'm a big numbers guy,
Yeah.
and numbers don't lie.
They don't.
Okay, so I can always read the numbers, but to be able to trust a person with the direction of the company, where you're wanting to go, and the responsibilities,
Yeah, and it's your baby.
and also respect the pushback.
Sure.
Okay, and the ideas that come from, you've got to have those two things in place in order to grow anything. And I knew that we had the right person because you did challenge the status quo on a lot of things.
Sometimes I'm like, Doug,
but
still do a
shut
little.
up.
but you were also wise enough to say, okay, let me understand, the history of the company.
Yeah.
Let me understand, what makes the company, what the advisors are looking for. You learn those things. You ask the right questions, before you just jumped in.
Sure.
And I think when you did those things, it made it easier for us to trust you in different positions.
Oh, for sure. And I could have easily, when I asked you, okay, where do I go, where do I begin? And harsh words, maybe, if you look at it that way. What you told me was, if I have to tell you, then why are you here? Figure it out. And I could have just sat back and tried to figure it out, because look, when I got here, nothing was broke. It's not broke. It doesn't need to be fixed, right? We just need to enhance and keep going. You can have a whole full team of centers, right?
Correct.
Basketball centers, not centers. Basketball centers, and we're going to do okay. But those teams that are faster than that, now we got to have something else, which is where the products come from.
Correct.
Disney is our pillar. It's our stronghold. It's our foundation. But now we've got to play against some other teams, or we need a couple extra vendors. We need some getaways. We need some cruisers. And that's where we're at, So to tie all that in, that's exactly what it's for. And our dynamic, Jamie mentioned that me and JJ are a lot alike. When it comes to that kind, we are. And then JJ and Michelle are a lot alike. And me and you are a lot alike. And then this dynamic that we have is super strong. And I'm without a shadow of a doubt, I know our advisors can feel that. I know they can. And I know they know how hard that we work and what we do. And it's all for them. We wouldn't do any of it without them. And I tell them all the time in our educational opportunities that we do, I can come to you with a $10 million idea. JJ, I got this $10 million idea. We're gonna be making money overnight. Well, how does it affect Susie? How does it affect so and so? How does it affect John? Well, they're gonna make money. Okay, when? Well, they're gonna have to do. If we can't get them to make money now, I don't care if I'm making $10 million tomorrow.
We are definitely an agent
you are
first.
100% advisor, family first.
Family first.
Family first. And advisor is our family.
And when you bring an idea to me, what's my reaction going to be?
Oh, yeah. You usually kind of just have that, okay, Doug, where are you going with this? What's going to happen? And then you'll say, how does it affect the advisors? Every single time.
And I'm going to take a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, to let it really sink in.
I better have my homework done.
To really sink in
this
before
feels good. I like it. Let's figure it out.
That's exactly right.
I don't make spur of the moment decisions. I've always got to think things through
100%.
And see how it's going to play out.
And I don't mind saying, when we talked about the aggravating part of my job,
right?
Very aggravating.
Remember, that was when you first
Yeah.
started. That was a challenge that you and I had.
It was
because
definitely a
you
challenge.
wanted that immediate decision.
Yes.
And I've got to process it.
Yeah.
I've got to think it through from every angle
For
to
sure.
see if this is the right selection.
And what I do now is I think about these ideas. Okay, I want to place this 6 months from now, so I'm going to tell JJ now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to do that.
Yeah. So I think that's where JJ and I, we complement each other because we are so polar opposite on that.
Yeah.
And so I flat out tell people, I am the type of person, I will jump out of the plane and build my parachute on the way down. I
kind of like to have it built before I jump.
Right, but I mean, he's like, okay, we need to, is the weather going to be right?
Yeah,
is there a backup chute?
Right.
I'm like, no, we'll figure it out. And either we figure it out before we hit the ground, or
you just roll me over, land on me. One of the two.
I want to course correct before we jump.
But not me. And it's like, and you know what? And that just comes from I work better under pressure in that sense than
you definitely do. And I don't like pressure too much.
No,
a little.
but I like to like it like I say, I know that where we're going, this feels right. I don't have all the answers, but let me go.
Yeah.
And I'll figure it out. But something over here feels right. I
Yeah.
go like 99% on feelings, like
Sure.
I would say for me. But before we wrap it up, I want to say to you that one thing that you probably don't know is JJ and I, before we did make the announcement of the VP of Strategic Alliances, JJ and I talked about it a lot, but we also talked to some of our vendors. And some of the vendors actually, not beknownst to each other, but one of the common things that they said about you was when you came to the industry, you never tried to tell them how to do their job.
Yeah.
You never tried to tell them what you know and try to prove that you're the right person for this job. And they all said that you're very humble, but you always said, I need you to teach me what I need to know.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things is you've never walked in a room and said, I know more than Jamie. You know, you've never walked in and said, I know more than Jack at Disney. You don't. You come across and say, I need you to teach me what I need to know.
Yeah.
Like I'm a blank slate. And it's so hard for people to do that because we always want to be proving this is why Jamie and JJ, they picked me because I know everything. They picked me because I'm going to take this company to the next level.
Yeah.
And every vendor that we spoke to said that was one of the qualities that they absolutely, that you are one of the most genuine, kindest people, but you love MVP so much that you got a tattoo.
Got a tattoo. You can't see it, but maybe we'll show it later.
Yeah. And not only that, we won't announce who it is on this one because I think we're going to announce it like in a different way. But we have an executive at one of our very big vendors that we were talking about your tattoo, and he said, what if MVP hits this goal? I will get a tattoo.
An
MVP.
tattoo.
Of MVP.
Yes.
And he has no tattoos. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like that stuff.
You said,
freaks
whoa,
me out.
what about your wife?
And he said, and we saw him the other day, and he said he still hasn't broke it to his wife yet.
Yeah.
But she'll surely be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
like,
see. I don't know how that's going to go.
I said, I'm going to have like somebody's wife really unhappy with me. But he said, you know what? He said, if you hit that goal, she'll be fine.
That's right.
She'll
and you
be
know
fine.
what? We're going to hit it. So
And
you
we-
notice
yeah,
we're not
Doug's-
talking like, well, what's she going to think if? No.
Yeah, it's
what's she
when
going to
we
think
hit
when?
it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I told him the other night that we saw him, I said, how cool would that be to have you get it at one of our conferences? You get the MVP. And then, my first question is always like, what if we change our logo? And it's like, well, then I'll have to get 2 tattoos. But as we wrap it up, I mean, I have to say, I don't like to admit when I was wrong or I am wrong. I would like to say I'm not wrong often. I actually probably am wrong a lot of times. But
Tape's still
but
rolling,
I am
right?
the tape is still rolling. But I will always admit when I'm wrong.
And I don't look at it as being wrong.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Protection.
I'm glad that JJ and you kept hounding me and annoying me at times. That JJ saw something in you before I saw it, and then like once you see it, it's like like how did I miss this? But I'm very thankful because like you said, like you and I have a different
We do.
the dynamic that you and I have is much different than what I have with Michelle, which is much different than what I have with
For
JJ.
sure.
And I would say all 4 of us can say that same thing.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like what you bring to the table, Michelle doesn't, but what she does, you do, and vice versa. And it's like all the 4 of us, it's like we complement each other in such a manner that's where part of the magic is. The magic is there.
It's the trust and relationship like JJ was talking.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, you dig deep. You guys have been married for 32, 33 years.
I mean, it was 31. I put 32 on
31,
social media, and then he's like, it was 31. So.
I mean, I know when the anniversary is, but the years
Yeah.
I kind of got messed. Well, then you got me and Michelle who've been together for ages. I always say 38 long years.
But you've been married for
34.
34 years. Yeah, but been together for 38.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
It's important because you can have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
And this is our baby. And I know how Michelle feels about it. Michelle, this is her baby. You guys have had her. You're going to talk to her later. But she is JJ Jamie. That's it. I bet she has your blood.
I'll say one last thing, because Jamie was talking about, what makes you special. I'm going to say PCH. Okay. You're passionate. Okay. Very, very passionate. You are very competitive. Okay. But you have a great heart.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You have a great heart. So you care about
Because he
people.
knows I'd fire him if
Yeah.
he didn't.
Right.
You care about people.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that's gonna go a long way. And they know you care about them. And this is how I know they know you care about them.
You know, you probably missed. Oh,
Where's bobblehead Doug right now?
He's in Egypt.
Bobblehead Doug. How many bobbleheads?
I have 3. I have 2 Funko Dougs and a bobblehead Doug. Yeah.
Okay, and does any of them live with you?
No, they're all gone. He has his own travel schedule.
This is how you know when the advisors take bobblehead on their trips with him.
Yep.
And I did recently see that one of them was on a camel ride in Egypt.
In Egypt, yeah. Yep.
I think that's amazing, buddy.
It's super cool. I'm very blessed to be here. I'm very thankful that you guys took a chance on me to do this. And, you know, I don't want to let you fail. I say that. I said that at conference. You know, there's nothing more that I want to make you proud, you know. And JJ doesn't do anything to me on the golf course. But when I play golf with him, I play horrible because I want him to see that I'm getting better. I can play. May not be ready to beat him yet, but that I over-try. I try too hard, you know.
Just beat me twice.
I think we forgot one of the. I mean, yes, passionate.
I still don't know what it is that I do. I really don't, because I struggle with confidence. I really do.
I think we all do.
I tell the advisors all the time, be strong, go confident, go on live, go Facebook Live. And I struggle with confidence all the time. And I don't know what it is that I do, but I'm glad everybody likes me.
I think you're vulnerable.
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
think you're vulnerable, and
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think we missed one of the probably the biggest things about Doug. That actually is why I've kept him around.
Oh boy.
His style,
Oh.
like his style. I mean, look at these shoes, his shirt. I mean,
Well, I kind of
you can have all the passion and
Exactly.
competitive and the heart that you
Exactly.
want, but without style, you have nothing.
Well, I got it from JJ, and JJ told me one time I put a shirt on, and he goes, "If it doesn't make you feel like a rock star, it's probably the wrong shirt." Well, guess what? Everything I put on that makes me feel like a rock star. So.
Even the boots.
You know, I remember we were together,
Yes.
and actually I think we were looking. Oh, conference.
Yeah.
We were getting our conference outfit.
Yep.
Was that in
And,
2020 or?
It was
2019?
20.
Yeah, it
maybe
was-
somewhere
yeah.
around there. And we went out. We were trying to find
Yep.
that perfect shirt, and he had one picked out. And I said, "Does it make you feel like a rock star?"
Yeah.
And he was on the verge. There was another shirt. I'm talking that was incredible,
Yeah.
and he did not want to spend
Yep.
the extra
Yeah.
dollars to
You're
buy
exactly
the
right.
other
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the only time I'm going to say this.
No, you're good.
Okay,
You're
it's the only
right.
time.
a
It's the only
great
time I'm
story.
going to say this.
Yep.
I said, "Doug, does it make you feel like a rock
Yeah.
star?" And he was like, "No." He said, "But I can't spend that money for that shirt." I said, "I'm buying it for you."
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I wanted you to have that feeling.
You did.
And now he outdresses
Now
me.
look at me.
Man.
Here
Look
I
at
am.
him.
9 pair of shoes.
I think
Nine
they're
pairs.
amazing.
Four
Amazing. Such
times.
style. Such style. I look at those shoes. I look at those shirts.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah. you know,
he's just killing me now.
No.
let me pop a few things.
I like it.
No, with all honesty though, Doug, I am so thankful for you,
Yes.
and I'm so thankful
back
that
at
you're
you.
here. And when JJ and I go on vacation or we don't have our phones on, I know that the company's in good hands when you and Michelle are around, and there's just something to be said about that. You know, it's almost like leaving your baby to the babysitters the first time.
Sure.
You know, it's no surprise to anybody. Like, I love MVP, but I love my people,
For
and
sure.
it's my people at MVP. It's my family. It's my friend. Like, these are my people. Our vendors, that's my people. You know,
Yep.
if we promise them or we say, hey, we're gonna hit this goal, like, I want to hit it. Like,
Right.
it's important to me because
They
these are
depend on it.
these
Yeah.
are my people.
Yep.
And they're your people too. They're JJ's people, and that's, you know, it's like I told you, if you can love MVP like you love basketball or love basketball, then this might just work out.
It might.
And I want to tell you thank you, because that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times people talk, you know, it's like they say whatever and then they get in and it's like, oh, then they go back to
Sure.
and I don't even know what made me say that, but I just knew that whoever got that role had to
Sure.
love MVP and understand how important the agents are, understand how important the vendors are, how important it is to what people are saying. You know, when
Sure.
we go on a fam, are they saying we're loud, we're disruptive, we're rude, we're
Exactly.
nasty? You know, are they saying, wow, that group right there, that's
We
a
just
class
had
act?
that compliment this week.
Yeah, you know, that's a class act. Like I say, you know, like from the person giving the tour, you know, it's like they'll say, wow, you guys are quiet in the halls. You don't go out and drink, and you're not partying and
Exactly.
hanging from the chandeliers. It's like,
Exactly.
no, because these agent spouses are trusting that they're going
For
on a
sure.
work trip, not a fraternity
For
spring
sure.
break,
Or
you know,
sorority.
a
sure.
sorority. Like remember MTV? They would do the spring break things. Like,
Yep.
and I was always like, I want to go there. You know, my mom and dad was always like, no, you're not going there.
Sure,
but
sure.
it's like, you know, these are majority of our people are married with
Yep.
kids, and you know, it's like, and if we have that reputation of going and partying and, you know, and just
Exactly.
misbehaving, you know, like
Yep.
we're
We
gonna
want to
lose
have fun, but
we're gonna lose the
Yep.
trust of the spouses of our MVPs, and that's
sure.
important to me, because it's like, to have a job and to have an opportunity like this, everything has to balance, and
That's right.
you know, they have to have support from their spouse.
Well, we want them to know when they come here that this may sound cheesy, but it's the truth. I am going to treat their daughter, you know, if they're not married, it's their daughter, or if they're married, it's their wife. I'm going to treat them like their family. I'm going to
Right.
protect them. I'm going to go,
Yeah.
if we go to Mexico, I'm going to be right there by their
Yeah.
side. I'm helping them off the bus.
Yeah.
We're doing all of the right things. And,
Yeah.
you know, you can't be married as long as we all have with our spouses and not know that.
I was
Right.
just thinking
Yeah.
of that, and thank you to your mom and dad
Yeah.
for not letting you go to those spring breaks.
Oh
because
man,
if
I would
you
have had so
you,
much fun.
had you
Yeah.
gone to those spring breaks, you wouldn't have met me. That's the
That's
best
right.
part of your life, because I don't do those things.
That's right.
I'm not
Oh
going
man,
to.
I was like,
I'm not
I
going
wanna
to big
be-
parties and all
Yeah.
that.
But that
you
was
know,
good
so-
marketing. That was
Yes.
good marketing, because like MTV, like they're like, you know, they had all these things. But anyway, Doug, I think on behalf of all MVPs, but especially JJ and I, thank you for believing in us, and thank you for always, even though sometimes you may not understand what we do, you trust our vision.
I do trust
And-
your vision.
And congratulations on your new
Thank you.
position. There's not a doubt in my mind that he's gonna rock it.
Absolutely.
And thank you for coming on our show.
Well,
Thank you.
it's finally I'm here. I'm thinking, what took me so long to get on the show?
I mean, I
you
think
know?
you were like guest number 75.
Actually,
or-
I know that answer. You were working.
yeah, that's
That is
actually
the
true.
truth.
That's actually
Yes.
true.
That is the truth.
Thank you for watching another episode of Unscripted with JJ and Jamie.